you guys doing? Welcome to Monday Night Live. I see we've got a lot of people already in the chat. Welcome. If this is your first time watching a live, welcome. If you've watched many lives, welcome back. I'm Becca Scoops. We're going to have a great show tonight. Get on board the truth train. I am your humble servant. You guys are the motor, the engine of the train. I'm just here as your humble servant to, well, bring you the truth and have a discussion. And we have a lot to get over today. So, go over. So, yeah, how are you guys doing? Thank you for being here. When I look this way, as you know, I'm looking at the chat. Wow, the chat is going. And I want to, first off, thank some people for being here. Well, thank you all for being here for sure. But let's get to some community members here. I want to welcome people that are new to my channel. If you're new to subbing to my channel, welcome, and I appreciate it. And if you're new to becoming a member of my channel, thank you so much. We definitely have a destination with this train, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to reveal some things. I know you guys have been waiting to hear some details, and I'm going to reveal as much as I can and show you a few things. So I hope you guys appreciate that. So, but before we get to that, the excitement, let me get to some things here with some members. We've got Amy, and she says, this is Becca's Christmas gift for us. Run it. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for the $2. Ms. Lady, $2.79. The train doesn't need coal. It runs on truth. Amen to that. Amen to that. Isn't that the truth? Next, we've got Dana Banana 52, member for 7 months. Thanks for being here. And she says, off topic. Okay, off topic. I took pics of your hair and brought it to the salon today. I have copied you. Wow, that is, wow. Well, thank you. I just love your hair and how mine looks. Fabulous. Oh, well, I'm so glad I could be a little inspiration. I'm a little shocked by that, but wow, very, what a compliment. Thank you so much. Wendy Williams enters the chat, $2. Merry Christmas, Becca, Mitch, and family. Love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wendy Williams. Harlequin PDX, one of our longtime people here, member for 7 months. Love you, Becca, and community. Next, we've got another longtime member, Kathleen Fleck, member for 7 months also. Truth Train knocking through the lies. Absolutely. I might have to put my glasses on. As you guys know, I'm no spring chicken over here. Anne Francis, another person well known to our channel, member for 4 months. Choo, GRB. Love you, Becca. Keep pounding, girl. You're doing an awesome job. Thank you so much, Anne. Coming from you, that means a lot. Next up, we've got Nicole. I'm sorry, Nicole, I can't see the rest of your name. Then there's a 55. So Nicole, thank you. Happy holidays to you all. Same to you, Nicole, 55. Thank you so much. Next, Karen with numbers after your name. Also, Karen, thank you. Member for 1 month. Welcome, Karen. Thank you for becoming a member. Let's share the heck out of the this. Yeah, let's do that. You guys, if you're here, if you haven't hit the like button, please go ahead and do that now. If you could, that would mean a lot to me. Next, we've got Andrea Nicole, who's become a new member. Welcome. Another new member, River Parrots, new member. Christy, another person I know has become a member. Thanks, Christy. Then we've got, hold on, I'm going to put my glasses on because some of this. Hold on, guys. Lisa Evans, member for 7 months. The Truth Train is coming. Full steam ahead. Absolutely. Next, we've got Sarah, who gifted 1 Becca Scoop membership. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Karen, 1989 with a 0 at the end, and she says all aboard. Thank you so much. And of course, one of my mods, Mersey Me, let the truth train roll. Love you, Becca. Love you back, girl. Forest Friend, one of our dear friends to this channel, has gifted 5 Becca Scoop memberships. If you guys were one of the recipients of that, make sure you thank Forest Friend. That was very generous of her. Another one of my mods, my longest time mod, Susan Ryan, $9.99. Thanks, Susan. You didn't have to do that. All aboard, choo choo. Absolutely. All right. Next up, $10 from BM McKenna 2024. I've been waiting for this all day. Me too. Me too. I've been preparing for it for 2 days. The court of public opinion will know it all. Thank you, Becca. You're welcome. You guys are the ones that are doing this, though. I'm just, again, your humble servant. You guys are the movement. Crystal Pistol, another longtime member to our channel, member for 7 months. Truth Train going strong. Thanks, Becca. Thanks, Crystal. Thank you. Then we've got Marie Chris 6536, $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Main Chick Carrie, another longtime person to this channel, a $2.99 super sticker. Then we've got, is it Teffy? I think it's at Teffy 26. Thank you for driving the Truth Train. So excited. Thank you for being here. Then we've got Lynn Rocks, who gave, wow, $50. Appreciate that. It's very, very generous. Thank you so much. And yeah, very humbled by that. Kathleen, member for 7 months, thrilled to be on the Truth Train. Amen to that. It's just me, friend, member for 7 months, also says Truth Train. Then we've got Karma, at Karma, with some letters after the name, member for 7 months. All aboard. Love you, Becca. Thank you. Love you right back, Karma. And we've got at Bodecia 97, member for 1 month. 2026, the year Gypsy won't soon forget. Amen. Amen. It's coming. It's happening. Like the title of this, it's happening. I'm going to give you some proof of that. So hold on, you guys. Hold on. It's coming. It's coming. All right. Jojo for show. Member for 2 months. Thank you so much for that. I hear a train coming through. Choo choo. Amen. Jenna Howden, 7936, gifted 1 Becca Scoops membership. Thank you for doing that. Homicidal Hamster. I love that name. Homicidal Hamster. Oh, it's a great name. $2 super sticker. Next, we've got Gen X TV with red. Oh, I know who you are, girl. Finally caught alive. Usually replay. Absolutely. So glad you're here. So glad you're here, Red. Then we've got Michelle with the long Greek. I think it's a Greek last name, and I can't pronounce it. From the UK. Thank you so much for being up in the UK. It's late in the UK, you guys. Happy to be riding the Truth Train. Thank you so much. Then we've got at Hopery 30, 8354, who has become a new member. Welcome, Hope. Welcome. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the live. Again, Jenna Howden again with 5, I think it's 5 pounds. Finally, I'm awake. Yeah, I know. What time is it in the UK? It's late over there. Finally, I'm awake for the live. Whoop, whoop. All aboard. Let's go. Amen. All right. We got a few more here to get through. So bear with me, guys. I want to get everyone. Amanda Free Spirit, 41001, $2. Choo choo, all aboard the Truth Train. We love you. I love you guys so much. You guys don't even know how much I love you guys. Sherry, 1968, member for 2 months. Then we've got Cindy, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the last, if it's your last name, but then you've got 6040 has become a new member. Welcome, Cindy. Cindy H 6040. Thank you for becoming a member. That means so much to me. Then B McKenna, member for 1 month. Love you. Thank you. Love you. Love your facial expressions. Well, I'm glad someone does. Thank you so much for. I don't know if my sons and my husband would agree with you. So sometimes I give them a certain facial expression. You know what I mean? And then we've got Shell Steven, 7239, member for 1 month. You rock. Loving the Truth Train. Thank you so much, Shell. And McCaslin, become a new member. Welcome, Kathleen. I know who you are. Thank you for becoming a member. And of course, hello, Starlight is here. One of my good friends. Thank you. Hello, Starlight, member for 7 months. Choo choo. All right, guys. We're going to stop right there. We're with Hello Starlight. I'll know right after Hello Starlight that we'll get back to some more of your guys' comments mid-show. But at this point, I want to go ahead and get into the show. And I'm going to leave the most exciting part kind of towards the middle. I don't want to start with that because some people might be late coming in, and I don't want to just do that stuff right away. So bear with me though, because we got a lot to talk about anyways with Gypsy, right? One of the things that is going on with Gypsy, I'm sure it's been going around the community. Some people may know, some people may not know. It's kind of just like a side tidbit. This doesn't really have to do with the case. It has more to do with her behavior. And that is this kind of autistic, kind of like / stalkerish guy named Joe Velasquez. I am not doxing him. His name is out there. His picture's out there. I am not into doxing, so that's not what I'm doing. He himself is out there making comments. His picture is out there. His name is out there. So I'm not doing anything wrong by that. But what's the point of this Joe Velasquez? Who is he, and why is he part of the narrative right now post case? So there's kind of two parts to this whole thing that I cover on this channel. I cover the whole case. I scrutinize it. Mitch and I have investigated it and all that. But then there's my commentary part that I do. I do commentary videos also, and that is kind of covering everything around surrounding the case that kind of like feeds into the case, right? That's Gypsy's behavior post-prison. That is how she comports herself, how she conducts herself, things that she's doing. The influence, she's trying to become an influencer on social media and all of that. And so that's where this guy comes into becoming kind of part of the story, right? Because we see comparisons with this guy and Nick Godejohn, because obviously they're both artistic. And then there's some very disturbing behavior. I was sent text messages from his wife from someone else. Okay. I'm not going to out her at all. Her name and all of that is going to be completely hidden, but we're going to get into that. Okay. So first, what I want to show when it comes to Joe, just a little background. I'm not going to go through all of the prison emails. Starlight covered a lot of them. Obviously 1980 millennial, who will come up in this part of the narrative because he has confronted her. 1980 millennial is also a YouTuber. Most of you guys know who she is, who has been really focusing on the prison emails, and she's doing a fabulous job. Not only that, but 1980 millennial is a member of that Ozark community. She witnessed the whole thing from beginning to end, and she has in her heart a passion for bringing healing to that community. And I'm going to, when I get to the exciting part of this, you're going to hear from someone else in that community. We're not going to reveal who she is. It's going to be a really quick blurb, but I'm going to show you what's been going on behind the scenes to give you guys a little idea of what's happening. Okay, so let's go back to this Joe Velasquez. This Joe Velasquez guy, I'm going to bring up this part to give a tiny bit of background. Okay, now this is obviously prison emails. I screenshotted this actually from Starlight's Live from earlier when she had them up. But I wanted to go over them again here for anyone that missed her live or anyone that wants to find out more information. So here's the background. Here's the prison email. This is Gypsy, the first one. She says, "Oh, looks like I got an email from Joe. He says people are giving him a hard time in the group. He says people are saying he is too obsessive and creepy. Eesh, how do I respond to that? Would friendly advice to maybe lay off the groups for a bit help? I don't want to be mean." Now, when Gypsy says, "I don't want to be mean," From what I know of Gypsy, from what I allegedly think about her psychological makeup, she doesn't really care about being mean to people. She's not a ultra sympathetic person. She's a malignant narcissist, allegedly, in my opinion. And so when she says that, she's mirroring what she thinks other people would say at that point. She sees people as a commodity. Can they do something for her? Do they feed her ego? Can they be a tool for her? This is how she views others. So please disregard, I don't want to be mean. The next highlighted portion is, I think we have established it's from this guy named Jeff, who was a kind of a romantic interest of Gypsy. And he's going to give the advice. He says, my recommendation as far as he goes, this Joe guy, is that he is likely harmless, but also weirdly obsessed with you. I don't suggest giving him a lot of attention. I get you don't want to be mean, but he's an odd guy. I actually just found out the picture of the private message he sent someone and sent to you. It definitely, here's the key sentence. It definitely reminds me of a certain someone you used to talk to. He's talking about Nicholas Godejohn. Okay. And this is the problem. And why? I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. She's still in contact with this guy. Yeah. I'm going to show you the proof of that. Many of you probably have already seen the proof of it, but some of you may not. All right. Now, this next part down here, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is from somebody saying that this guy, I'm posting this part, and you guys, if you want to watch the replay, you can pause to read. This is somebody saying, again, my stalker. This is someone who was actually stalked allegedly by this man named Joe Velasquez. Now, remember, guys, remember, autism is a spectrum. So not every autistic person, they're not carbon copies of each other, obviously. All of them have different issues. It is a disability, and so we have sympathy for him if he is diagnosed autistic. Sounds like he is, but this guy becomes obsessed with people, it sounds like. And remember, if he is anything like Nicholas, they have issues with social cues. I don't know anything about this man's background. So I can't say that as a fact, but the fact that there is some evidence that he has stalkerish like tendencies tells me that this probably is part of the autism for him, and that issues with social interactions with others, right? They don't quite know how to socially interact. For a lot of people like Nick, that was part of it. Now, we also know autistic people can be obsessed. Usually it's not with people. Usually it's with something, right? My grandson is obsessed with sea animals. Okay. I mean, he knows the name of every sea animal. I mean, it's crazy how he just hones in on all of that and knows all of the names, and it's just amazing, right? But this guy right here, he becomes obsessed with certain individuals, it sounds like. And then it turns into like a stalkerish type situation. All right. So that's the background. That's the background. So now that you know all of that, what would be the appropriate thing to do? What would be the appropriate thing to do with someone who is potentially stalking you? That someone that you, yes, Gypsy said, you don't want to be mean. Okay, that's a given. You don't want to be mean, but do we engage with that person? Do we? And remember, Gypsy doesn't see people like we see people. Okay, so what does Joe give her? Why would she engage with him? Because she did. Not only did she continue to engage with him, I have a video I'm going to play to you now about Gypsy Blanchard speaking about this stalker. That's right. Gypsy Blanchard speaking about, I am pretty sure she is referring to this guy. And I want to thank my good friend from the UK who helps me out. Thank you so much. I don't know how she comes up with these clips, but here it goes.
That she's going to be okay, and her new followers with Instagram and TikTok maybe combined. That means she's
if you have to turn it up, turn it up.
Safety. And are you all doing anything to ensure that she's going to be okay in her newfound freedom, but also newfound fame?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get someone to help her, control her social media, because she's still learning. She has a couple of stalkers out there, I'm not going to lie, some that are quite disturbing. But as her being safe at home, I think she's going to be okay. If worse comes to worse, we'll hire someone for security. I'm just hoping that the creeps stay away from her, That's all we could hope for. But
can you expand on that, the creeps, and what has been said? Like, what kind of outreach has been made that's been disquieting or disturbing from some of those people?
Well, there's one in particular. He was saying he wanted to be there when she got released and hoping that they take a picture of him and saying boyfriend is helping save Gypsy from paparazzi. He wanted to do that. He found out he had my personal phone number and address. And it's just creepy. He's really creepy. He has made multiple accounts trying to add,
Just going to pause it real quick. There's just a few seconds left, but we do know that this guy, it has been verified. I'm going to show you that he does have Christy's information, that he was talking with Christy. The wife, the ex-wife actually, has confirmed that.
And I figured out quick that it was this person in particular, and if he keeps up, legal action will be taken. He is not from Louisiana.
So that sounds like an uncomfortable fan. Have there been any dangerous threats made? Has she felt uncomfortable about some of the threats or more cruel kinds of comments?
I told her try not to read the comments, but New Year's Eve we were talking and she felt kind of a little bummed, and she was like, people could be rude. And I said, Gypsy, let's say there's 200 comments and maybe a handful might be, not so nice. I said, but the replies under it are people defending you. I said, but they're irrelevant. Just ignore it. They don't know you. They think they know you, but they don't.
Okay. So Christy Christy said, I'm scared. We might have to get the police involved, right? Okay. So why is Gypsy still talking to this guy? Why is that happening? Okay. I'm going to show you. Hold on here. I'm going to show you. Okay. This is of like a day ago. Many of you already seen this. That's him down there. It's a picture of him. I'm not doxing him. His picture's out. Okay. And he's saying, Gypsy says, I like being a brunette more. I'm going to show you the little TikTok thing that she did of this after this. And then Joe says, so this is the guy that we might have to call the police on, right? This is scary. You're so pretty as both. Gypsy, thank you, Joe. Joe, my pleasure, Gypsy, smiley face. I'd like to get a call from you again. What? She's spoken to this person on the phone? I thought we were calling the police on him. I hope you like your Christmas present. What? There it is. There it is, guys. There it is. I sent it to you and Aurora. Your gift is somewhat to Ken, too. And then right here in the middle, welcome to freedom, Gypsy. Wish I could meet you. I can't make it up. Okay. That's just one post. I mean, I'm sure he's all over other things. All right. But he's sending her gifts. This is a dangerous situation. All right. But she doesn't care. Right. She eggs him on. Right. And here's the TikTok that he was referring to.
I'm a brunette. He is interested in blondes. I'm not blonde. I'm a brunette. He is interested in blondes. I'm not blonde. I'm a brunette. He is interested.
Okay, of course the filter, the heavy filter, I'm going to play it. I mean, and she the caption on the side was something like, "Oh, my insecurities are gone because now I don't have to be blonde." Is this a new $50 million wig or $2,000 wig or whatever? I guess. I don't know. And your face doesn't look like that. That is not what I'm talking about the one on the left. Your face looks like that on the right. That's your face. Yes, you may have lost some weight. I'll give you that. But that is not what your face looks like. And why does the wig always look like it's way too big for her head? I don't know. I shouldn't be that mean. I know I shouldn't be. Huh, Maisie? Maisie's right here next to me. Huh, Maisie? Yeah. So, that's what's going on with this guy. So what else? I'm going to show you some text messages that happened with this guy. Not text from the wife. Okay. And this has to do with Christy, right? So the woman says, "That's awful. And I know Joe wrote to her in prison. Luckily, I'm no longer married to him. But I agree he shouldn't send those things." She's talking about the gifts that he sends Gypsy. He sends her gifts. "It's a shame," he says, "I'm abusive when he's still in my house." So apparently, because you guys know economically, sometimes people who get divorced still have to reside in the same household just for economic reasons. It sounds like that's what's going on with this guy. And I don't know if he's able to work or if he's fully disabled, like fully on disability. I have no idea what their economic status is. And then she writes, "And I felt sorry for him." And then she writes over here, "Has the stepmother," we know that's Christy, "told him not to send stuff?" And then Joe said that she said it's okay. So what's going on here? What's going on here? I thought Christy was on News Nation. That News Nation clip is from when Gypsy gets out of all right, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hey, Mitch. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, Maisie was stuck in the room. Sorry. I thought I thought we weren't encouraging this kind of behavior. Do you know what I mean? I thought we weren't encouraging this kind of behavior. So, I don't know. There's some other things, red flags with this guy. Here is okay. You see that I showed you that before, but this other point is 1980 millennial. He was up in her comments. Telling her to remove her videos, and he was threatening her. And down here, he says, "I am friends with her stepmom. She's going to help Gypsy and I reconcile." Oh, okay. So then what does that mean? So were they in a fight? Like, you can't be in a fight if you're not in a relationship. This video is coming down. I have an army reporting it. I mean, this guy sounds a little off, and no, I'm not trying to be mean, but he sounds obsessed is what it is. He is thoroughly obsessed with Gypsy. And she doesn't seem to care. Well, I know she doesn't care. And what is this whole thing? I thought we were supposed to be protecting baby Aurora from these kind of things that, and encouraging it, receiving gifts. How many gifts? I don't know. It sounds like it's probably kind of a thing that goes on. It's not new. So yeah, it's not good. It's not good. All right, let me see if I have anything else about that. Oh, all right, this part about Gypsy, I wanted to go over this real quick too with you guys. This is what Gypsy is saying about photos of Aurora. "After recent photos of Aurora were shared without our permission, we made the decision to keep her face private from now on." I don't even know. I don't even have words. "Her safety and her space will always come first. And as her parents, it's our responsibility to protect that." Why is she in any videos? Hey, it's their kid. If they want to put her in videos, they can. I'm not saying, "Oh, you cannot video your kid." I'm saying it's this hypocritical stance of this, right? We know Haiti Joyless. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She made a recent video kind of proving that the leaked photos came from Christy, like all of them. Not just, there's many rounds of leaked photos, right? And so there's a lot of talk about, is Gypsy actually trying to leak the photos herself so that she can go ahead and just make the baby's face known? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that what's going on? And then she says, "Even though you may not see her face, I hope you can still feel the joy she brings to our little world." And speaking of joy, I think Shirley knows what I got her for Christmas. Okay, whatever. All right, whatever. Now, on the other side of this, so that's Gypsy's hypocritical stance about the baby, about showing the baby. You know what I mean? She knows that the baby gets a ton more views than just her showing her wigs. Okay. I mean, the wigs, they're great. They're great and all, but they're not getting as many views as when the baby's there. And you know what's kind of gross about that? We know that there are certain not good people on the internet that look for videos of kids, right? And she's got to know that too. All right. Now, this is a comment. This is another comment. I'm just trying to show you about this Joe guy that this is a comment. I got this from Hello Starlight from a YouTube comment he made. He's talking about Gypsy. He says, she did nothing to that monster. He's talking about Dee Dee. He's calling Dee Dee a monster. It's what he did to, oh, maybe it's Nick. It's what he did to her. Oh, okay, it's Nick. She is safe and you will respect her and you will respect her. Now silence. This order will be obeyed. And also, I'm not her boyfriend. Gypsy will be respected. Final. I mean, come on. This guy has issues. Obviously, he talks like that. Now silence. This order will be obeyed. Right? This order will be obeyed. Why did she engage with this guy ever when back in prison years ago? Years ago, she was warned by numerous people. There's prison emails, not only from this Jeff guy, but I think even from Christy. But Christy's kind of weird because then we hear from the ex-wife that Christy says, yeah, it's okay for him to send her gifts. But there's an email from, I think, Christy, maybe one other person saying, hey, Gypsy, yeah, no encouragement of this character. This guy has issues. Don't, but she does. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. You have to ignore that kind of thing. You have to ignore that kind of person and they'll go away, but you cannot engage. And she's not stupid. She knows that. She's not stupid. All right. How are you guys doing? You guys ready for some excitement? I'm going to end the Joe thing there. I'm going to end the Joe thing there and I'm going to talk about the truth train. Okay. Now, Lori and I are working very diligently behind the scenes. I know I say that. Okay. I want to acknowledge one other content creator who was able to do something and that's straight out of context. Barb, straight out of context, was able to make a contribution to this that was massive. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that we are in the process and we've done a really good job of this, of getting people on board that will say, yes, I will speak out. Okay. And so I just wanted to give her a shout out because she was able to bring someone to the table that was very difficult to bring to the table. So thank you, Barb. So part of it is, this may shock you guys, but a lot of people that were around the case. So I'm going to talk broadly now. Law enforcement, neighbors, reporters, all of these people and community members, right? When I say neighbors, I mean community members that were around the case. A lot of them did not keep up with the case. So a lot of them were very traumatized by it. I know we use the word traumatized a lot, but I've seen it with my own eyes because I've met with these people, like on Zoom type calls. Okay. So I've watched it. I've seen their faces and they have no idea. All of the people I have spoken to had no idea about what we all know. So when we're approaching them, hey, would you be interested in possibly being part of a project of a new documentary on Gypsy Rose Blanchard? They're kind of like puzzled at first because they're like, well, God, her story's been told, right? And it's because they don't know all of this new information that has come out. So think about what you know. I don't know where, I mean, I'm assuming that most of you in my chat have kind of a working knowledge of that we believe, and we believe that we have proven that that Dee Dee didn't have Munchausen. We have, not me personally, but people in the community, a Fancy Maselli got the medical records, and it came out that Gypsy had a rare chromosome disorder. These facts that blew a lot of us away and made us look into the case more, right? From the chromosome, we look in at the micro deletion. We look, did Dee Dee have Munchausen? I think most of us, if not all of us, agree, no, she did not, in our opinions, right? Okay. So when trying to, how do you tell these people? How many hours would you need to like sit someone down and give them the blow by blow about this? Oh, my cat just joined us. I mean, how many hours would you need? So it's kind of a delicate process with a lot of these people, right? To tell them what we know. Okay. And so that's kind of what I've been doing behind the scenes. And now, because it's very important, I've never done anything like this. So I'm just taking the advice of the professionals. I'm talking about people that have produced big documentaries, that we cannot tell you anymore. We cannot tell you who we have, and we have to protect them. But what I've done is I've got super fast clips, and I'm going to, because I think it's important that you understand how some of these people kind of feel. So these are super short clips. You're not going to know who these people are, but you're going to be able to hear them. Okay. Is that fair? All right. The first one is about someone who knew Dee Dee. It's the short clip. This is me talking to them behind the scenes. And this person is going to talk about their memory of Dee Dee. It's going to be really quick because as they tell the story, it might give away who they are. But so we don't want to do that. That is not what we're here to do. And it's not something that I can do. Okay. It's not good for them. It's not good for the project. Okay. Here we go.
She had all the Southern charm in the world.
Okay.
She really did. She reminded me, it was just, she always wanted to, help with this, that, or the other. If we could never take.
Okay. So that's the first clip. And what I want you guys to know is this person's face lit up. They were actually crying right before I asked that question. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about Dee Dee? And their face lit up, and it was so genuine and so authentic. Saying, oh, she had all the Southern charm in the world. And she kind of talked about how generous she was. We've heard those stories, but this person, I didn't tell this person any of those stories. I don't tell these people anything. They tell me, right? And so it was good to get confirmation that Dee Dee had this generosity of spirit, that she would not take any money from these people. And when they went on certain outings, or if they were certain places, just how wonderful she was to be around. And so I thought that I would share that part of it with you. Also to show you that it's really happening. That's the title of this. It's really happening. I don't know how long it's going to take. I've never done anything like this. I'm not the person that's going to, I'm not a producer of, any kind of, I'm just a mom, you know what I mean? But I'm doing the best I can to talk to these people and to be very delicate with these people. And okay, I'm going to get to the next clip now. This is someone else. This is someone, again, that's part of the community, either law enforcement, either a neighbor, or like a journalist. So I can't tell you who this is, but they're going to talk about about the community. And this person is going to say how the community, this is after this person has learned the truth of everything that we know, and it shocked them. And now she is going to say something about what the community needs going forward.
Time, the need for
back it
truth
up.
needs community. So you can imagine, even after all this time, the need for truth needs to be out there, because there were so many people invested in the finding of Gypsy. And again, they didn't realize what was going on, because we just had a beloved mother murdered.
Right.
So they were, I think, as time went on and the story started unraveling, a lot of people in the community felt slighted.
Okay, so I'm going to play it again. It's really quick, but listen to what she says, that the truth that we have, which is the truth. There's not her truth and my truth and your truth. There's only one truth. Okay, let's get that out there right now, right? And this woman is saying what we are doing needs to happen for that community to heal. And that should make all of you feel so good in the chat, that what we are doing, we are not doing something terrible or mean or horrible. We are trying to bring healing also, not only the truth, but the truth heals. Like one of these people said to me, I can't heal until I know the truth. And I thought that was a powerful statement. Okay, so let's listen to this one more time about how the truth that we have, that is the truth, needs to come out for this community.
So you can imagine, even after all this time, the need for truth needs to be out there, because there were so many people invested in the finding of Gypsy. And again, they didn't realize what was going on, because we just had a beloved mother murdered.
Right.
So they were, I think, as time went on and the story started unraveling, a lot of people in the community felt slighted.
Okay. So I hope you guys heard that loud and clear about the truth. That's why it's #TruthTrain, right? These people in that community, and that's something that 1980 Millennial talks about, right? Because she was a part of that community that she has been so passionate about. And when I heard this woman who doesn't know 1980 Millennial start mimicking stuff that 1980 Millennial has said about being in that community, I was like, wow, it's real. Like these people, and this woman like explained to me how this area, this Springfield area, is it's not super small, but it's like a small town feel to it. Everyone knows everyone, and it's like middle America, and they take care of people, and they took they're still traumatized by this. And like this woman said, we can't heal, until we know the whole truth. And maybe that's been the problem, with a lot of these people. Maybe in the back, well, this woman told me also off the record that in the back of her mind, she always knew there was something else. I'm going to play one more clip from this same person. And this is after she finds out about the microdeletion, that Gypsy truly was ill.
That kind of hits me weird, because we've been led to believe for, gosh, it's been 10 years now.
Yeah.
10, 11, it'll be 11 years next year that the crime occurred. And we've been conditioned to believe the entire time that it's been one way. You know what I mean?
So she had more to say about that. I can't play it because, again, I can't give away. She's talking about her personal experience with the case. And so I can't, sadly, I can't. We all want this to happen. So, I have to be very, very careful about certain clips that I show you. And I have more clips that I will either, little tiny clips possibly that I'll put in a video or on a next live. But I wanted to at least give you guys something of value, something to show you here. It's tangible. This is really happening behind the scenes. And so besides me, making my little videos and that, like literally I'm working 7 days a week and I love it. I love it. I love doing it. Do I get tired sometimes? Well, we all get tired sometimes doing stuff, right? But I have to say that this has been a joyful experience thus far, meeting these people, talking to these people, listening, and mostly listening to them. They just need someone to listen to them after they hear the whole truth. And it's been thus far a wonderful experience. And they know all about you guys. They know about the Truth Train. I tell them about our community, that there's a whole community that'll be behind them, that they don't have to be scared. That's the other thing that sometimes comes up is, well, because this is such a high profile case and it's so charged, that, obviously people, are scared to come forward. They're like, well, I don't want to get attacked. I don't want to get doxxed. I don't want to get, I don't want to get hate mail. I don't want to get stalkers. I don't want to get targeted. You can understand that, right? I mean, I think we can all understand that's a very human experience, a very human reaction to, putting yourself out there, in such a big way. So I want to keep building this community so that when they actually do come out, when we actually get to the point where we know who's who, that we can be like a protective circle around them, hugging them, supporting them, making sure as best that we can that that they don't get, stalkers or hate or whatever. I mean, we can't control what people do, right? But we can at least say, look, there's a whole community behind you. There's a whole community that'll be behind you. And that's why guys, I tell you, I'm just your humble servant here. And so that's what's going on. Oh, why is someone trying to call me right now? All right. So that's that. And I have more, obviously, to go over for you guys. I have more. We're going to kind of like shift gears here for a minute. But first, before I get to the next half of the show, which is also pretty exciting because I found some clips that I was kind of blown away by. I'm going to share with you guys about, you guys know the Mommy Dead and Dearest documentary, right? Well, I wanted to go back because since that the truth didn't come out in Mommy Dead and Dearest, I wanted to find out like how did that happen? Like I mean I kind of know how it happened, but really how did it happen? And were people lied to? And so I got some clips, some very telling clips that I'm going to share with you. Most of you probably haven't seen any of these because I hadn't. So I'm going to get to that. But before I get to that, let's go back over to the comments, go back over to the community here and see what you guys have to say. Okay. I ended off with Hello Starlight. Next up, Lexi has become a new member. Welcome, Lexi. And Pam Cakes, 609 has become a new member. Thank you. We've got Rachel. I'm sorry, Rachel. I think it's 1969 who has given our channel a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Haiti Joyless member for 7 members. Our good friend Becca is the goat. Oh, thank you, Haiti. That's nice coming from you. Otter Plus $20. Thank you, Becca. Your work is effective. God bless you and everyone in the chat tonight. I echo your sentiment about blessing everyone in the chat. And thank you so much for saying that to me. All right. Next up, Manda. Yeah, Manda, member for 1 month. A certain Mr. Anderson is upset about you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you guys see my video about Ryan? I heard he's upset. I didn't mean to upset him. I meant to be like tough love, like a tough mom, like, look, okay, look, what are we doing over here? What's going on? I think And I'm sorry if he's upset, but I feel like someone had to say the quiet part out loud. All right, next up, again, BM McKenna 2024 gifted one Becca Scoops membership. Thank you. And you've also become a new member. Thank you so much for that. Dazed and Confused member for 1 month. You say, welcome aboard the truth train. Where, well, you know what, I can, so I don't have to like, I can do this so I don't have to like squint. I know I'm not always super smart. Welcome aboard the truth train, where we never run out of the room for people who are people are true and the drama is juicy. Chugga choo choo. I love you, Becca. Thanks for all your hard work and endless dedication. Thank you so much, Dazed and Confused. That means a lot to me. Michigan Crime Time has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much for joining the truth train. Next, we have the fairy on my shoulder, 10 pounds, so it must be overseas. I hope you're staying up okay. Love you, Becca, and I really appreciate all the hard work you do. Love to everyone on the truth train from the UK. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying up and watching from the UK. Shannon, thank you for the super sticker. Just Ashley 84. Thank you, Becca, for everything you do. You are seriously awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $5. Very nice of you. Kristen Gannon, member for 7 months. Thanks, Kristen, for being here. Thanks for showing up for the live. BM McKenna 2024, $10. I look like a totally different human when I use extreme filters, my Botox, my extensions. I don't think I could say with a straight face that I feel comfy in my own skin. She tries way too hard. You know what? I have to join you. I do Botox. Obviously I do, lighten my hair. I've got eyelashes on. You wouldn't recognize me. If I took all of this off, I'm 61 years old. You would not, I've had some fillers. You would not, I get it. I don't use a filter though, but yeah, I do that, it's not that. I think it's that she uses fillers and she pretends like she's not filters, and she pretends like she's not. And we all know that she is very much into her looks. Like she really thinks she's hot, and it's very important. But here's more than the psychological part of it. It's very important to her to think that other people find her hot. Like, I don't care. I do this for myself. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like most of the time during the day, I'm going to the store or whatever. I don't do this. I'll go out. I don't care. Here I am. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think what we don't like about her use of the filters and the wigs and, making herself look different, elongating her body and all that is just fake and it's phony. And we all see through it. Just admit that you do it. Just say you do it, All right. Next, we've got Lions Doth Rain, member for 1 month. Thank you so much. She says, choo choo. Thank you so much. And I've seen you a lot in my lives streams, and I want to thank you for that. Beautiful Disasters. I know who you are, member for 3 months. Truth Train coming in hot. Absolutely. It's happening. It's happening. All right, Pat's Pajama. I love her too. $10, 1 ticket, please. Absolutely, Pat. Get on board. All right. Dazed and Confused. Just want to buy you a cup of coffee, tea, or wine. How about a shot of bourbon? I'm kidding. Whatever you're drinking, and toast you for all your hard work and devotion to exposing that POS, and wish you, Mitch, and Maisie happy holidays. Also, GRB is a lying sack of shit. Thank you. Thank you so much for that message. It kind of encompasses all of our feelings. Dazed and Confused. Thank you. All right. Who do we got here? Maria Mediavia. I don't know if I say your name right or not. Becca, you're a baddie. God bless you, mother. Thank you so much, Maria. I love you for that. Thank you. All right. Who do we got next? Trouble Puffs. We all know Trouble Puffs. Okay, but what's the kitty's name? Oh, yeah. Kitty. Okay, so we are kind of weird in our house. The kitty's name is Moo Moo, obviously. Okay, but then we always name, like, our animals always get like these weird nicknames. And this cat's weird nickname, and I'm talking about my son, who's like 35 and is a deputy sheriff, calls this cat Keekins. Mom, where's Keekins? Where's Keekins? I don't know where Keekins comes from, but it's Keekins. And my son the deputy sheriff loves Keekins. Keekins sleeps with him along with Maisie. And yeah, there's Keekins. All right. So Trouble Puss, thanks for asking. All right. No and nobody. Keekins is trying to get really, Keekins is like right on top of Keekins. No. Keekins. Okay. No. Down. All right. No and nobody 2514 member for 2 months. I made it to your live on board the truth train. I'm so glad you're here, Noah. Welcome. All right. Next, Jill 3072 1399. Ken, you can ask me to help with in psych and med consult if you need. Oh, absolutely. Can you email me? Email me and put something like that'll get my attention in the RE box so I know that it's you. Okay, Jill, I appreciate that. Yeah, anyone that wants to help out, I do get a lot of emails. I do try to get through them. But if you guys want to help in any way, if there's something you think you can think of, or if you are somebody out there that knows somebody that you say, maybe that person should be in the documentary. Hey, I know someone who knows someone, go for it. Help me, help us. We need that kind of help. All right. Chelsea Pete 2571 super sticker, $3 super sticker. Thank you, Chelsea. And thank you for being here. We've got Ananis, member for 3 months. Much love, Becca. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Ananis. And we've got April 168, member for 4 months. Train Choo Choo. Thank you. Thank you. And next, we've got Crystal. I love Crystal. Love you, girl. You know I do. Member for 7 months. Hey, Becca, I missed most of live. I'll catch up on replay. No problem, Crystal, girl. I love you. Thank you so much. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and get to the next portion of the live stream. All right. So most of you know Mommy Dead and Dearest was produced by this woman named Erin Lee Carr. Okay. And I did not know that Erin Lee Carr was like a baby when she produced this. She was like 26, 27 years old. And while you could have graduated from college by that age, as far as life experiences go, you haven't gained a lot of wisdom when you're in your mid-20s. I think we can all say that. You can be very educated. You can be very educated and knowledgeable and artistic and know how to make a documentary. But do you know how to read people? Probably not. And so I don't want to be super hard on Erin Lee Carr, but there are some red flags in some of these interviews that I have clips from. And I think we didn't do enough research, obviously. So let me get to the first one and then we'll discuss.
The prosecution feel like they also had something to say.
Drives this interest?
What drives this interest? I mean, I think it's, people think of
So just for a little background, this is Erin Lee Carr on this guy's whatever podcast or whatever this is show. And this is the day of the premiere for Mommy Dead and Dearest was happening right after this interview.
True crime potentially as being a little bit lowbrow, but I don't think it is. I think it's dealing with like liberty, with death, with murder, with things like that. I mean, how could you not sort of want to think about that? So I've always been interested in it, and if I can keep making movies about it, I will.
And how did you come across this story? And we'll get into what this story is in just a minute, but I'm going to tease you guys and lead us there.
Yeah, of course. So I was working with my co-producer, Allison Byrne, who I worked with on Thought Crimes for HBO, and there was this thought catalog piece, and it was this long, rambling, very just sort of very odd post about a young girl who was wheelchair bound that was involved in some way in the death of her mother.
Okay. Yeah, I was vaping. I want to tell you guys, did you hear her say thought catalog? So Erin Lee Carr is saying she got her information from the thought catalog. And this is what, in case you guys that are really into the case know what the thought catalog is. But for the rest of you who are either new to the case or just dabbling in the case and interested, this, I want to bring up what this thought catalog is. Okay, so this is the thought catalog. What is it? It's kind of like this blog kind of like thing that was written by this woman named Megan Pack. And the minute that the Dee Dee was found, Megan Pack went to this thought catalog. It says that there's like horoscopes, TV movies, mental health, spooky. So it's just, I don't know, kind of like this website, right? And she wrote for this website, and you see her right there, MJ Pack. And this is how it starts out. Okay, now this is an update from November 9th, but you see right there, June 16th. That's June 16th, 2015. Okay. And so that's what's going on at this point. She's just starting out to cover it. And so Aaron Lee Carr went by what was in this. Okay. This is what she went by. And I got to tell you, I went over it. I've been over it many, many times. And one of the main contributors coming from the Petrie side is none other than Bobby Petrie. And when I read what Bobby Petrie, that's Gypsy's cousin. For those of you that don't know, he is the tattoo artist guy in her series. He's the cousin, and he is this guy who is an unreliable source. For one thing, he was too young to know anything really about Gypsy. Meaning, too young at the time when Dee Dee was having Gypsy, when she was married to Rod. Bobby Petrie was a kid. Okay. So he is not a reliable person when it comes to this. Yet a lot of the things that Bobby Petrie says on this thought catalog finds itself into Mommy, Dead, and Dearest, finds itself into things Aaron Lee Carr is going to say. So I just wanted to show you guys where Mommy, Dead, and Dearest came from. Okay.
So Allison started talking to me about it, and just like we were two schoolgirls, I was like, I have to know more. And so then I began the long, slow process of reaching out to the girl in question.
What did that process entail? Why was it long? Why was it slow?
Well,
where were they? Where were they already in their own process?
Sure. So Gypsy Blanchard was facing potentially the death penalty. She was involved in the murder of her mother, and so I reached out to her in a letter in prison, and basically she said, I can't talk right now, but I want to talk to you. And so it was this very slow, long process of trying to gain access to her. And so then when we were finally given access, then I had to go to the prison, asked to film there, and prisons do not like you filming there.
They hate it.
Yeah, she came into the interview with handcuffs. I couldn't really touch her. This was, in terms of shaking her hand, we just touched elbows. But
what we did just now.
I couldn't even sort of make her feel safe or comfortable. She was in handcuffs, but she was there because she was involved in a murder.
You still extract a pretty incredible interview out of her. I think that that has to do with your skills as an interviewer, but I'm also assuming it's because she wanted so badly to tell her story.
Right. So we interviewed her for 2.5, I think almost 3 hours. And before I had spoken to her, she always seemed like a little girl. She was
Listen to this part.
She wasn't always present. I asked her if she'd ever seen a documentary. She said that she hadn't. I later found evidence that she had watched the movie Blackfish, a really incredible documentary. And so it always felt like she was participating in impression management with me. So when we did the interview, I was just like, okay, is it going to be the infant, the baby sort of version of her, or is it going to be this adult woman who I know to be 25 years old and knows what she did was wrong? And what she did, she came to the interview in a very self-referential, articulate. She was really brutally honest about herself and about the crime.
Yeah, at the same.
Look, this girl and I all not trying to throw shade. She's the same age as Gypsy was at the time. How was she judging Gypsy's truth? How was she judging that Gypsy came to tell the truth? Based on your vast experience with people?
Time you present before I think that her interview really starts, or maybe it's halfway through the film, someone says you can't really trust much of what she's saying. So where did you fall, and how did you feel about that while you were interviewing her?
Yeah, I mean, I worked with our team a lot. So it's Andrew Rossi, producer and incredible filmmaker, Andrew Kaufman, and I mentioned Allison, and it's called being an unreliable narrator. And when you're making films about crime, you can't always trust the subject because they have a reason to lie to you. So what do? You look towards the evidence. You look at the
Oh, okay. So you're saying you couldn't trust what Gypsy said, so you had to look at the evidence. That's interesting.
medical records. You look at
the medical records. Did you hear her say that? You look at the medical records. You missed the biggest thing in the medical records. it made the story all different. It made the whole thing with the rare chromosome disorder turns the whole thing upside down. Dr. Mark Feldman said in the thought catalog, that thing I showed you, Megan Pack talked to Dr. Mark Feldman. All right. The first week when it happened, she contacted Dr. Mark Feldman, and Dr. Mark Feldman told her, I didn't think it was Munchausen because I thought she was actually sick. And when I heard she was healthy, then I decided I could consider if it was Munchausen. Do you see the difference that makes? The chromosome disorder? It's the difference between Dr. Mark Feldman saying Dee Dee had Munchausen or not.
What do? You look towards the evidence. You look at the medical records. You look at the police reports. You talk to both sides of the story. You know, what I find really impressive was it not just that the defense team spoke with us, but also the prosecution spoke.
And that's the other thing. They've got both sides talking to her, and this is before Nick goes to trial. What is happening? Where's the lockdown? Where's protecting his right to a fair trial? Why are we making a documentary before he goes to trial? I was watching, you guys know the content creator Morgan Elena. I was watching her latest video, and she was going over some of those Nick records that I had got a couple months ago. And I didn't know this. She found out, and I'm pretty sure she said this, that Aaron Lee Carr got access to the evidence room at the Greene County Sheriff's Department. What?
With us. You know, typically you're going to get a one-sided story, and you know, I think it's pretty clear that I don't think an abuse victim belongs in prison for that long, but you know, I think that it was important that the prosecution feel like they also had something to say.
Now let's talk about her as
all right. Here's the next clip, and it gets wilder.
Put together, you know,
hold on,
button down sort of guy. He does not of her life to gain disability benefits from the government, to go to Disney World, to meet the cast of Harry Potter. She was living her sort of best life through having her daughter.
She's talking about Dee Dee. She's saying Dee Dee was living her best life. Are you getting this? She's saying Dee Dee was living her best life. She's saying that Dee Dee was living her best life. This is what she's talking about. Listen.
Smiling, sort of grinning, really. She kept her daughter sick for years and years and years of her life to gain disability benefits from the government, to go to Disney World, to meet the cast of Harry Potter. She was living her...
Oh, I'm sure Dee Dee was super excited to meet the cast of Harry Potter.
Her sort of best life through having her daughter pretend to be disabled. You know, there was just extreme amounts, like shaving Gypsy's head so that it would seem like she was getting chemotherapy, making her take epilepsy meds so her teeth would fall out.
There's that lie. Do you hear that lie repeated over and over by these people? It gets out there, right? Christy to Dr. Oz, Aaron Lee Carr now. We know that's not true. It's not why. Her teeth were a mess when she was a baby. I've shown you evidence of that. Had nothing to do with the medication, any medication she may have taken.
This was the most shocking, crazy crime abuse story I'd ever witnessed. And so when we look at the end result, we look at the murder, we wonder, is it justified? And like, that's one of 80 things I could bring up right now in terms of what happened in this case. Like, it's just, you know, what happens when you're held hostage, not only in your own house, but in your body.
Now, what do you think about Gypsy serving time? Obviously, you said if you commit a murder, you should, you know, serve some time, but an abuse victim serving time is a different thing. What about the type of time that she is serving? Is she in a prison? Is she in an institution? Is she somewhere where she can be reformed and get help? Because obviously, if there's someone who could be reformed in some capacity, it's an abuse victim who lash out.
Right. I don't want to throw shade at the Missouri State prison system, but I will. That is not a place to get help. You know, she's been psychologically traumatized.
She's not meant, I mean, yes, therapy. You go to prison because you did something wrong. It's like an adult timeout, you know? Yeah, hopefully if you've got some kind of a psychological or mental issue, they'll address it. It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be somewhere where you go, okay, here's your penalty. Here's your punishment.
And now she is seeing a counselor at the prison. She's at Chillicothe Prison in Missouri.
I thought Gypsy didn't see counselors, right? I there's so many conflicting Gypsy. I was too mentally healthy to have a counselor, they said.
You know, that is not enough.
It's not necessarily that prison system's fault, right? I mean, that prison
Right, it's
system
like-
isn't built to do this. It's the system itself that isn't sort of putting things in place to help people who
But
need
that's where they put her. That's where they put her in a prison. So they are taking
I wonder what Aaron Lee Carr would think about Gypsy's prison emails and her pay pigs.
responsibility for her well-being. She was not placed in a mental health facility. Sometimes that happens. Like she could have gone to a health facility. No, she's in a prison. I think that the majority of the work internally and externally will have to happen when she's outside, when she gets on the outside.
Because you're talking about a young girl who her abuse was so much of that abuse was manipulation, and she has learned how to
Some
manipulate.
of the abuse was physical. Yeah. Like it wasn't manipulation. I mean, she had surgeries done on her. I think that
Here we go. Here we go. Here it is.
when I first started working on this, I was like, okay, like so out in public, when you're at the movies, you're forced to be in a wheelchair. That is not the case. She had her salivary glands removed because she was drooling in doctor's visits. She was drooling because her mother kept giving her medication. I mean, these were
What? She was This is the woman. This is the authority. This is the producer of Mommy, Dad, and Dearest. And she doesn't know the facts of the case? I'm sure she's a lovely woman, Erin Lee Carr. I'm sure she is way more talented than I am. I know she is. I couldn't make a documentary like that. I wouldn't know how to do it. Right? But I don't think there's any excuse. I don't think there's any excuse for not knowing the facts of the case.
invasive sort of thing. She had a feeding tube. Part of me always wondered, like, why didn't she run away? And she tried once to run away. But what I always come back to, and what a lot of loud people have emailed me very clearly saying, you do not know what it feels like to be psychologically and physically abused in this way. You say, oh, she could run away. She couldn't. She couldn't.
Right. Why don't they run away is the same sort of victim blaming that
Here we go. And this is what we hear from Gypsy's. You guys are victim blaming. You guys are denying her abuse. You guys are denying that she murdered her mother and should still be in prison. Talk about denying abuse. How about 17 stab wounds? That sounds pretty abusive. Denying someone's abuse. Fuck off. Seriously.
women who or people in domestic violent relationships get all the time.
Yeah, it's just, it's a hostage movie.
This is a hostage movie.
A hostage movie.
When did you come to terms with that? Did you figure
You got a hostage movie. Who? Dee Dee? Dee Dee was held hostage, I think. Who is she talking about? And look, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a little petty. She looks 12, this girl right here, Erin Lee Carr. I'm sure.
that out at some point, or did you just say that right now?
God help me.
I, for a long time as a woman, have been very scared of the thought that you could be walking down the street as a young girl and you could just get snatched. And like, as young people, we're talked about as stranger danger and things like that. And so when this happens, in your own home, with your parent, that's when it sort of occurred to me that it was a hostage. Like she could not get up and walk away. She could not do anything.
But she did do that a couple times that we know of, right? She went, I'm sure there was other times we don't know of, right? When she walked out, to go see dad at the hospital, right? Come on. Outside, I don't know if she was in her wheelchair, was making those videos for Nick. She could, look at the state Dee Dee was in. Was Dee Dee going to run after her and tackle her? I just don't understand. But you don't get it. She was psychologically in prison with her mom and she felt like she couldn't leave. Shut up. Come on. Gypsy psychologically in prison. Look, what do we always hear about Gypsy, right? Gypsy gets what Gypsy wants, right? Gypsy gets what Gypsy wants. She's not some meek little, oh, I'm in a psychological prison. Okay. She's the person putting people in a psychological prison. I mean, how could they get the story so wrong? I guess it's because of her stature and the squeaky voice and all that. I don't know. I don't know. But this girl here, like she's 12. I mean, I don't know.
You know, and I watched Heavenly Creatures and the film Room, which is spectacular movies.
Great, awesome.
And just sort of like during the edit, this is what it sort of came to us.
She is once again in a situation though where she cannot get up and walk away. She's behind bars.
But she can.
No way
Oh, now she can. Yeah.
Help her or reform her, or do you have hope for her future?
Oh, here we go.
I ask her in the film, you know, is 10 years in prison better than 10 years living the way that you had to live? And she said, in prison. That is a remarkable statement. And so like when I talk to her on the phone and she has this very sing-songy voice, she says, you know, I'm doing fine, da, da, da. And so I don't think she's gonna be that honest with me. The prison calls are recorded. Right. You know, I think that there's a reason to lie about your treatment in prison. I'm not saying that
Gypsy was fine in prison. Let's not act like this is some, something, some hellish, prison movie that we've seen, people are getting stabbed and, the COs are all corrupt and, there's the Crips and the Bloods running around, shanking each other.
She's being mistreated in prison, but like I don't have clarity on that. But yeah, I think she is better off and has more access to freedom, even walking in the prison, than she did in her own house.
Oh my God,
what
she
were you
was
most
snowed
struck
by
by
her
when it came to interviewing the prosecutors or interviewing
here we go.
officers who had arrested her and investigated this?
You know, I really was looking forward to the sheriff interview. You know, in press conferences, he seemed to have this sort of this flair for the dramatic. He was able to know like things are not always as they appear. And I was like, you just made a soundbite for this documentary. Like it's almost as if he knew. But when we sat down with him, he would not answer 80% of our questions. So that felt
because you were making a documentary when you shouldn't have been. Whoever cleared it, and it wasn't Sheriff or not, it was the DA, the powers that be. Sheriff or not was probably like, F this, right? F this. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just guessing based on my knowledge. Yeah, he was probably thought you guys were all crazy and nuts that this was even going on. And he was not happy with the whole plea deal thing. I can say that.
Pretty
Why?
sort of. I think that the trial was gonna happen soon, and he just was like he just wanted to be really careful about what he said. I think
he was not on board with all this bullshit.
I think the prosecutor Dan Patterson comes across really
Oh,
well.
God.
You know,
Oh.
he ultimately gave them gave Gypsy a decent deal. But yeah, I mean, I was always sort of more interested in Gypsy.
And when you got in touch with Gypsy, you said it took a really long time to get her to agree to do the interview. What sort of things did you do to try to get her to agree?
We had to offer her money.
I mean, there's no trying to get anyone to do anything. I think it's just speaking with the family members, and I filmed with her dad and her stepmom, and so like they were comfortable with me. And then I filmed with Mike Stanfield, and he was comfortable with me. And I was not sort of confrontational when it came to our interviews. And what I tried to communicate is like, this is a human story. I'm not coming at this from like, look at this shocking murder. I'm looking at like, what happened to these people? And I hope that every film that I sort of work on, it shows the human side. Like with Gill Valley and the Cannibal Cop documentary, Thought Crimes, you know, people were so scared of him. He basically went to prison because people were scared of him, and we wanted to show that he had a human side. So I think anytime I'm interested in making something, I want to show the human element. And
I think the human element really comes across with how much time you spend with Gypsy's father in the film. What was it like getting him to participate in the film? And what were your thoughts on his... I mean, I guess you don't want to cast judgment of any kind, whether it be positive or negative, but sort of on his role in Gypsy's life, he seemed to me personally to sort of wipe his hands clean of it at a certain point.
Right, that's a great question. I spent a lot of time with Rod. Rod, you know, works on an oil rig. He has his kids. He loves his wife.
Did Rod work? Do you guys know? I'm looking at chat. Did Rod work on an oil rig ever? Do we know? Or is she just wrong about that? Is she? All right.
He's a very sort of put together, you know, button down sort of guy. He does not like cameras. He does not like, lights up in his house. He does not like talking about sort of his ex-wife. But slowly
Okay,
but surely,
thank you,
I think the
Amanda.
turning
No, he
point
did
for us
not. I
was
didn't
when we
think
got
so.
on this, we got on a boat on the bayou and started.
Where did the oil rig story come from? I mean, this was her project, right? Like I live and breathe this case for 18 months, like you get really enmeshed in the details, and I don't want to be super hard on her, but come on. How did she miss the whole story? How did she miss the whole story? Or, and here's what I think possibly happened, because she's so young and kind of like the way they're talking about how, oh, well, prison isn't the place for Gypsy. She needs to be, where she can get help. I think they're coming like these bleeding heart kind of people that maybe, don't, like, just inexperienced, aren't old enough to understand how life works and how certain people are just evil people. And I think maybe she just thought, oh, poor Gypsy. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of, but then there's the part where she missed the research part of this. How did you miss all of these things? And why were you given, how come you got to go into the locker room? That's like, I don't know if that's, I have to double check that, but yeah.
Filming him, and he just kind of was able to have sort of fun with us, and the cameras sort of went away for him. But he does take ownership that he could have investigated what was going on with his kid. From what he knew, she was really well cared for, and he had a job, he had kids, they were in a different state. I think he carries guilt with him, but Gypsy, and for her part, says she does not blame him. Dee Dee, her mother, was a master.
Isn't it weird, just as a side note, how Gypsy so vilifies her mother, but Rod is never criticized at all by her, but Dee Dee's this piece of shit mom, but Rod's like the perfect father when he's the one that wasn't there?
Or manipulator, and there's really nothing that he could have done because they were so far away.
It wasn't Dee Dee's mother.
That's not true. It's called parental rights. It's called you go to court, okay, and you sue for custody. And he would have gotten at least 50%, right? I mean, this is ridiculous. There's nothing he could have done. It was out of his hands. What are you talking about?
Also a manipulator? Isn't that you explore that? There's like a family history of manipulation.
Uh-oh.
Right. There are some allegations in the film surrounding the death of her mother, but I won't say more than that.
There's that stupid Roundup story, not the Roundup, but that starving Emma to death, that what Christy said, right? Here's where, see how this woman takes these stories as fact. Well, yeah, Christy, there was the rumor that, when Dee Dee's mom died, that Dee Dee was starved her to death. Do you know how long it takes to starve someone to death? Like literally starve someone to death? It takes weeks. Okay, you can go maybe 3 to 4 days without intaking fluid. You can go a long ass time with not eating as long as you're getting fluids. Okay? So how would Dee Dee starve her mom to death with no one noticing if it would take weeks without putting anything in that woman's mouth? It's a ridiculous story, and it's a lie, and it's gossip that was told by Christy to what? To slander Dee Dee, to make Dee Dee look like the evil monster. And this woman, Erin Lee Carr, lapped up all of those gossip stories and took them as fact.
Mysterious.
Yes, very mysterious.
Let's get some questions from the audience.
All right,
right
that's that one. That's that one. Okay. Just a couple more. Done with that one. But she says some other really ridiculous things that you guys have to hear that I'm going to go crazy about. I'm going to go nuts because I can't take it.
That quite honestly, she was a scammer, like we kind of alluded to earlier, at heart.
So this is Erin Lee Carr being on this podcast being interviewed. This is a clip where she is just going to say some really crazy things here. Okay.
Quite honestly, she was a scammer, like we kind of alluded to earlier, at heart.
Of course, this guy's talking about Dee Dee, that she was a scammer.
I mean, it was just another scam. That's the way I looked at it anyway.
Totally. I think it started off when they were displaced because of Hurricane Katrina, Gypsy and Dee Dee, and they were given basically they could stay in a hotel, basically, that was trying to help victims of Hurricane Katrina. And I think a light bulb went off above Dee Dee's head, and she was like, "Wait a second.
Yeah.
I can turn this into something."
Okay. So what she's saying here is basically that when Hurricane Katrina hit, that a light bulb went off in Dee Dee's head that she could do something with this, like start this scam. Now, I agree not to that whole premise, but I have spoken in the past that I do think Hurricane Katrina caused Dee Dee to kind of have a meltdown, as it would anyone. They lost everything. We've seen evidence that the place they were there, it was destroyed. Everything was destroyed. They had no place to live. This is a horrendous time to be in New Orleans area, right? There's looting, there's murder, there's mayhem going on, right? And she's got Gypsy there who's ill, right? That legitimately had illness, right? And they're stuck and she has no money. Okay. So what would your mind start doing? How do I get the F out of here? Right? How am I getting out of here? Where am I going? Remember, she's estranged from her family. Okay. So I agree to a certain extent that Dee Dee played up Gypsy's illnesses. Maybe that's where the leukemia story came from. I know people go back and forth with the leukemia in the community. Regardless, is this when the shaving of the head started? I've often thought about that, right? So that she could get life flighted out of there. Okay. But now Aaron Lee Carr is going to say some other things that, nope, can't agree with, that aren't true.
My question to you, though, is how the heck did she fool all these medical professionals?
Yeah, I mean,
you would have thought there would have been checks and balances in place for this very disorder to look out for it.
Man, I can't get antibiotics.
Because what? Again, because Gypsy had legitimate symptoms. Dee Dee wasn't fooling anyone. But let's hear what she says. The producer of Mommy, Dead, and Dearest, where this is the main documentary where all of the people that watched it, and it became in the mainstream media, this was the documentary that exposed this to an international audience. Right. And this is the woman who wrote the story. This is the woman who did the research. This is where we get the story from. Let's hear what she says about this.
Antibiotics for a sinus infection in the winter, I swear.
Yeah.
It's true. I don't know how these people do it. Like, you did mention that one doctor in the documentary, though, that did think it was Munchausen's. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So the question is, how did she fool the doctors? Anytime we've ever shown the film, anytime people have asked me about the film, this is the huge question. Why on earth did doctors believe Dee Dee? And for me, as far as I could find out, basically doctors, especially in pediatric units, they have to believe what patients are telling them. They're trying to figure something out. And the huge thing here is that Dee Dee was giving Gypsy medication that supported some of the symptoms that she was reporting.
What? That's not true. Oh, okay. So let me get this straight. So to get the feeding tube, to get her salivary glands removed, right? To have a muscle biopsy to check for muscular dystrophy, right? And to get the Nissan fundoplication, those were the main things, right? That Dee Dee was giving her certain medication that did what? That made her only weigh 38 pounds at 8 years old? That did what? I don't understand. That caused her not to be able to swallow food? What medication can you give somebody so they can't swallow food? Because we know Gypsy had a heart. That was why she got the G tube, right? She was in the hospital for a month. They worked her up, right? We all know about her high palate and the difficulty swallowing. So this woman, the authority, Mommy, Dad, and Dearest, is telling you and me that Dee Dee gave her medications, and that's how she fooled all the doctors. I would love to know what medications those are. Because being a former registered nurse, I don't know of any medications like that, but I'd love to hear about them.
There was a stolen medical pad underneath their bed. They shared a bed. And it seems like she was getting medications. And
the stolen great. Okay. So Dee Dee was writing herself prescriptions for what medication still doesn't answer the question, which we know that Dee Dee didn't do that. Okay. But I'd love to know what medications was she writing to herself to make these symptoms happen. Because this is such a ludicrous story. I don't know how anyone believed it. But this is this woman's story. This is the authority. This is the woman who made the premier documentary on Gypsy Rose Blanchard that started out all the lies. It's where it comes from, folks. It's where it comes from.
And, basically force feeding them to Gypsy to when they got to the doctors,
So
she was
sick.
drowsy. She was salivating. She could barely talk. I mean, it's totally unthinkable.
Where is that in the medical records? I have not seen one medical records, because I can tell you something. If I had a kid in there salivating, drooling, groggy, you better believe as a nurse, I'm writing that in my notes. 100%. But you're going to tell me that not one nurse wrote that down, because I didn't find it anywhere. And I read those medical records many times, over and over and over again, the ones I have. And you would have think, yeah, well, Becca, you don't have all the medical records. Great. Then you know what? Gypsy's Camp, show me the nurse's note showing that this patient is drooling all over themselves and is groggy and can't talk. I want to see the nurse's note. Show it to me.
Now, what diagnoses was Gypsy? What was she given for diagnoses? Because quite honestly, as you'll learn later on, these diagnoses were not what they all seemed to be, and weren't even real. But for the time being, what was she screaming at the top of the ropes to tell everybody, to make these doctors believe that she had these very serious diseases?
I think it all started off with that Dee Dee told doctors that she was a leukemia survivor. That she'd been through a lot of she'd had a lot of medication. They needed to be careful. A big one was that she had epilepsy. She was given the drug Tegretol. Gypsy was given the drug Tegretol, which made her teeth fall out. And
if I hear that one more time, I'm going to.
And a lot of the medications, it just was, a snowball effect. It affected her in different ways. And the huge claim was that she had muscular dystrophy, that she couldn't walk, that she was wheelchair bound. And then we talked to a doctor, Bernardo Flasterstein, in the film, you see, and he says, I was looking at her, I was surveying what was going on. And for somebody who had muscular dystrophy, there would be almost no muscle in her legs. And through the MRI, it was like, her muscle mass is fine. It's normal. So he had a big suspicion that, she could walk. He wrote it in a paper. He wrote in his notes. He sent it to her general practitioner and said, I think that this is a potential case of Munchausen by proxy. Nothing was done with that memo.
Did she run away from doctors if they did kind of get clue to what she's doing? Did Dee Dee run away?
Dee Dee trained her. Dee Dee said, doctors were a part of her huge scam. That's how they got medical airlifts. That's how they got Disney World. That's how they met the cast of Harry Potter, something that I have not done, and she just said,
wow. So you admit that was pretty cool, huh? I thought it was a horrible, horrible life. Wow. Okay. All right.
When you're at the doctor's, you sit still. You do not move your legs. Do not talk. Try not to listen. It's boring stuff, not for babies. And if you're good, I'll buy you a toy. It was just this really infantile sort of reward system.
All right. There's that one, guys. There's that one. I mean, what can I say? what can I say about this woman? What can I say? You know what I mean? It's just, it's amazing because, yeah, it would be one thing. It would be one thing if this is just someone that kind of worked on the documentary. This is the major person. This is the person who was responsible for it. This is the person that's completely the buck stopped with her. Right? And so you guys, you know, I don't have to tell you that she doesn't know the case. She doesn't know the facts. She kind of knows what they told her, what the Blanchards, Bobby Petrie told her, you know, what Christy told her, what Gypsy told her. But it doesn't seem like anyone went the extra mile to actually go into all of the medical records and like sit down and get an unbiased party and a professional and read through them. Because even though I don't have them all, the ones I do have explain all of the medical procedures Gypsy has. I have, at least in the records that I have, I know why they did the procedures on her. I have those notes. I have those tests, right? So I'm not missing that. So if there's something else I'm missing that is going to contradict anything that I've said, please bring it out, okay? Because I'm not here to tell a story. I'm here to tell the truth. So I want the truth. I want all of it, right? All right, just one other quick clip. You know, this one is just, again.
She did not get the benefit that I had living in the society. She was trapped in a house for, you know, so many years of her life.
That's incredibly empathetic, and Munchausen by proxy is a big component of this film too. I'm curious if you had any preconceived notions about it going in, and after spending all this time and sort of following the story, how you feel about it coming out.
I wasn't sure. I thought that maybe like Munchausen by proxy was potentially sort of a made up syndrome. You know, people needing attention. I do not feel that way now. I do not feel that way. I have seen the evidence of it. You know, I
have seen the evidence of it. Where? Show it to me.
She would shave Gypsy's head to make it look like she had cancer. Gypsy had her teeth falling out because she had to take Tegretol, which is epilepsy medicine.
Oh my God.
This is not,
again,
put her in take a couple
that's
of pictures.
That's the only thing this woman can say. She shaved her head and she gave her medicine that made her teeth fall out. That's all she says. Munchausen. It's Munchausen. Did you see her head was shaved? And did you know her teeth fell out?
Of her in the wheelchair. Yeah. It's like, no, she is literally sick. Let's make her sick.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what's really
fascinating about the film
is that there is not some sort of moral judgment.
Do you think? What do you guys think? I mean, what do you guys think? If we and I'm really hoping with all hope, right? I can't say 100% sure that what we're working on is going to get done. I can't say that until the day it's done. Do you know what I mean? But what do you think these people are going to feel like that said this stuff? You know, like, do you think they'll come out and do you think they'll like say, look, you know, we made a mistake, or will they say nothing? I mean, it's kind of a big deal, right? It's kind of a big deal because of the things they're saying here.
There's a recognition of the crime that occurred, the abuse that took place, and the depth of that. But on the other hand, there's, you know, I think Aaron lets the characters speak for themselves. And so you have these really incredible sort of Southern Gothic portraits of Gypsy's grandparents who live in Louisiana, and her father, and everyone sort of is this village. You know, we talk about sort of it takes a village to raise a child. It also, in a way, it takes a village to lead to this level of failure in someone being brought up, and that extends to the administrative organizations, the hospital system, social services, and it's just a sort of devastating accumulation of all these things.
Going through some of the notes, I think there was only one or two, I think a neurologist was one of the primary people, and you have unprecedented access, I understand, to family and to this community. But when someone is respected as a neurologist is saying, oh my God, there are red flags everywhere, like what is that? Is it denial? Is it sort of wanting to buy into a sort of sympathetic victim, damsel in distress sort of thing? Like, why you wouldn't give further investigation, especially in this country where children are just just so sacred and used as platforms for other issues?
I mean, that's a really great question. I think that when anybody happens upon the story, one of the first questions is, how could this have happened, and what happened with the doctors? And I really grappled with that question. And I think that I spoke to numerous doctors. One would go on the record. They were very, very edgy about saying anything on the record. But he said,
you know why? Because of this preconceived notion that they did something wrong. That right? And probably, what I know from working in hospitals, their hospital attorneys were probably like, do not go on the record. Say nothing. Okay. Even if they were like, look, I want to defend why we did these things. I want to defend it. I'm sure the council was like, no, because if they say nothing, then no lawsuit can happen. If a lawsuit happens, you don't want to go on the record. It's kind of like when you get arrested and they say you have a right to remain silent. And what do the smart people do? Smart people lawyer up and don't say anything, right? No matter what it is, no matter if you're innocent, you don't talk, you lawyer up, right? And you say nothing. Well, that is the thought in a hospital also. When something like this happens, they're going to tell their doctors, do not do interviews. Okay. And so this is why I believe that most of these doctors have not come out to defend themselves. And the ones that have kind of spoken on the record, I think they just were kind of feeling bad and like, oh, I guess she did have Munchausen. That's the pediatrician. The pediatrician, the two that have spoken out are not the surgeons, right? They're the ones that the pediatrician isn't a surgeon. So he didn't witness any of the reason for Gypsy getting the G-tube or for Gypsy getting her salivary glands out. He doesn't know about that. He's just the pediatrician. Right. But you notice nobody who took part in any of the surgeries, the few that there were that were needed, has spoken out because they're going to be told not to. And so, yeah.
We have to believe when people say that someone is sick. We are physicians. We are treating people. We are believing they're acting in good faith. And so for when Gypsy was adopted by this system, this hospital system in St. John's, and like what I have to say is like, Dee Dee was really good at what she was doing. Yeah. Like, this is not like, she's going to tell a couple of people this. She had detailed notes about how to keep the con going. I mean, she was a con woman. Yeah.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I think this is as close to a portrait of pure evil you've seen in a mother.
Wow. They got it wrong. They didn't see the real evil one. He didn't see the real evil one. They were blinded, man. They were blinded by her act and by the Blanchards. Oh, no, Gypsy and Dee Dee was evil. You know that Dee Dee, that she starved her mother to death? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see how that all works? You see how it all works?
That I can think of.
So it's a taboo in filmmaking, by the way.
Is it?
That's
Well,
right.
maybe not documentary, but
Well, it's interesting because it really does. It's taking on sort of violence towards a child. But what sort of recovers it from really a sadness is that Gypsy is there in the film and she can speak for herself. And she says that it is, I believe, basically worth it for her to have gone through this experience and be free now, even in prison, to be free from the abuse of her mom.
So you said you have
Oh my
spoken to her,
God.
and I
Oh my-
understand that she will.
You would think that Gypsy was the one that was, murdered, right? I mean, it's like, it's crazy, right? It's crazy when you hear this. You're like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why are we glamorizing a mother murderer?
Be released when she's 32 years old from prison. Does she feel represented? Is she excited? Because that's pretty a decent age she can still have a decent life. You know what I mean? Coming out of that.
So Christy and Rod, who we were able to show the film to last night, they're Gypsy's father and stepmother, respectively, and they immediately talked to Gypsy right after. They have a close relationship. They're very much keeping an emotional sort of attachment with each other. That's what she needs. For her whole life, she was sort of abandoned and not looked after.
She needs to be in prison for the rest of her life. How did you guys miss it?
Or looked after too much by her mother. So she has a really great relationship with them. And I think she is really excited.
Well, not anymore. I hear they're not following each other on social media anymore. Hmm? Heard that Christy and Mia, Gypsy they don't follow Gypsy. Right? What happened? Little trouble in Team Blanchard.
That that when she's going to get out, she'll have life and
Maybe they should make Team Blanchard shirts. Do you think so? I don't think so.
she'll have a life and she'll be able to be free in a certain respect that she never was when she was when she was a kid and when she was growing up.
They get some of that experience, like you said that you were.
I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm done. So that's Erin Lee Carr. That is Erin Lee Carr. Now, got a few more things before we go. I want to go over something that I've seen this before, but I'm just going to put it out there because somebody else emailed me to it. Now, I've seen this before. Okay. And it is kind of, I'm just going to show it to you. Okay. So this was emailed to me a long time ago. And I think somebody had put it in the GRB Snark Reddit, but I didn't see it there. Somebody emailed it to me. And down here, it says that Gypsy has this ASBD. And then next to it, the nurse's note says good control. And so what is that? Well, it's acute. I can't remember what the name of it is. Acute something behavioral disorder. Basically, it's this. It's a disruptive disorder, okay? Acute severe disruptive disorder, I think is what it is. And when I saw that before, I saw it and I'm like, because it's just the initials, and it's kind of close to antisocial personality disorder, a little bit kind of close initials with that, but you wouldn't be diagnosing a kid with antisocial personality disorder, okay? Probably not, no. But this disruptive behavioral disorders, I kind of poo-pawed it, kind of put it away. But then I started thinking about like there's a lot of notes about Gypsy having food aversion, right? Feeding issues and food aversion. And so kind of some of these disorders do go hand in hand. And a lot of people have kind of been putting this out there, this notion out there that possibly did Gypsy have this? This is just, I don't know. I'm like nowhere like yes on this. No, I don't know. But with the food aversion she had, this kind of like this behavioral issues also can be part of microdeletion, but usually it's like autism, like psych issues, autism and paranoid, I think schizophrenia. And so Gypsy definitely doesn't have those, but did she have but she murdered her mom. And so you got to ask, obviously she has antisocial personality disorder, allegedly. So then you got to ask, as a child, was she showing any of these red flags? And so when I think of it that way, I think that could be a possibility, although we don't have any real stories except this. The Gypsy's, I'm going to say stories about her being super disruptive, right? We know she shot her mom with the pellet BB gun. Okay, but she was an adult then. I'm talking when she's a child, like really real stories, like fact stories that we can. So Gypsy did admit, now I don't know if this is being like hyperbole or she was just being overly dramatic, but she did say at one point her mom did try to have a boyfriend at some point. This is in the prison emails, and that she didn't want this guy around. This guy had come around. I don't know what his name was. I can't remember, but that she had spit in his face. Now that's her story. And we know that Gypsy lies. So we can't take every single thing Gypsy says like fact, right? Was she telling the truth then? Was she trying to be like, come off tough? Or was it the truth and she possibly, kids spitting in adults' faces? Wow. I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, you're going to get slapped for that. You are going to get in trouble for that, right? And you're not going to ever do that again. So and number one, I wouldn't even think about doing it. I mean, right? Normal kid would not ever even think about spitting in an adult, in anyone's face, let alone an adult, right? So was that story true? Did she have some disruptive behaviors as a child? Is this why possibly Dee Dee had her out of school? Because we know in the beginning, not Dee Dee had her in activities. Dee Dee had her in the Girl Scout thing, right? She did have her in school. She had her in the beauty pageants. So what happened? What happened? Like Dee Dee's got her out there. Beauty pageant. This is very beauty pageants, right? The little kid, what's it called? Tots and Tiaras or whatever the show is called, right? Girl Scouts, right? So this is being a good mom, trying to have activities for your kid, taking the time to have activities for your kid. I know Gypsy talked about going to vacation Bible school. So why wasn't she in real school? Even if where they're lying about Gypsy, Dee Dee told doctors Gypsy was paralyzed. So we know that wasn't 100% true. So was it just because of the ruse of the wheelchair, or did Gypsy have some disruptive behavior that Dee Dee saw as a red flag? And we know that if Dee Dee was anything, she was a super, 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 super overprotective mom, right? Gypsy was her world. Yeah, to a point where I think, even to an unhealthy point, a very, very much Gypsy became everything to her. She let herself go. She let her health go. Right? These aren't healthy things. All right. But she wasn't neglectful. So what happened? And I'm, I'd love to get more stories from her childhood to hear if there's any disruptive stories, real stories that we can nail down, right? Not just gossip, but real stories. And the other thing I wanted to bring up that was that Gypsy, there's one more clip here. I want you guys to hear. It's a short one from this Aaron Lee Carr, because I found this astonishing.
Things about sort of human interaction.
I found this astonishing.
In this article that made your ears prick up and went, oh, hang on, we've got something here.
I mean, it's just the premise. It's a young woman who was forced to live in a wheelchair for 17 years of her life from the age of 5. I mean, I don't think you can get more sort of shocking than that. I've never heard of child abuse in that way. And then so because I'm interested in the internet, there was even an internet angle for me. This is a young woman who didn't go to school. Her mom said that she was mentally incapacitated, and she just went on Facebook. Her whole entire life was on Facebook, or she was watching Disney movies like Beauty and the Beast. Like, imagine what sort of reality and what your world looks like if that's the only things you're sort of consuming.
Now remember why I just said that Dee Dee had her in Girl Scouts, the beauty pageants, the cheerleading, another activity. These were all things Dee Dee did, and then it stopped. Why did it stop? I mean, she went out, right? They went out, the Comic-Con, VisiCon things, and they did. And I know from people that I've spoken with now in the community that they went out to eat with the other people, like they had a social life. But why did the child on child, peer on peer activity stop with Gypsy?
And how did that manifest in her own well-being, why she was kind of trapped by her mum?
I mean, I think I always want to be careful not to speak for her. She's not here. She's actually in a prison, but I think that it was really, really difficult. I think she was so sheltered and her world was so small that, she didn't know about very basic things like, she had to figure out how to kiss on YouTube. She didn't know how to kiss. Like the one.
Are you guys hearing this? This is a woman who said her premise for this documentary was the Thought Catalog by Megan Pack, where people are talking about Gypsy being in motel rooms with men, Gypsy meeting 50-year-old men, Gypsy meeting the pictures with the knives, the cosplay. How can she talk like Gypsy was some virginal creature that didn't know how to kiss? She had to find out on the internet how to kiss. What are you talking about? You see where this story comes from? You see where it comes from? And I'm thinking this woman does believe it. For whatever reason, she had to see Gypsy a certain way. You needed to see Gypsy as not the evil one. There has to be the evil one, and that was going to be Dee Dee. And that meant that Gypsy couldn't be evil. And that's why I always say to you guys, I'm not here to tell you a story. I'm here to tell you the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's why I don't canonize Dee Dee a saint. I don't canonize her a saint. I don't, say that she was correct about every single thing she did, because she wasn't. But she wasn't a monster. And just like that clip I played you of the woman that's going to be in our documentary, Dee Dee had a very generous spirit and a good heart to her. Okay. But no one's all perfect. Right. But I think that's what this Erin Lee Carr did. I think she had to see it as very black and white.
One of the most natural things about sort of human interaction. Like that to me was so sheltered, and her world was so small that, she didn't know about very basic things, like, she had to figure out how to kiss on YouTube. She didn't know how to kiss, like one of the most natural things about sort of human.
Okay, where does anyone learn to kiss? You just kiss, right? I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, you're a teenager and you have your first kiss, or I was a teenager before YouTube, so I didn't go anywhere to learn. You just go do it, right? It just happens. I don't understand this. What do you mean she had to learn how to? No one learns to kiss anywhere. It's ridiculous, ludicrous. Okay, and that's a story. Gypsy, I didn't know, my mom didn't let me go out with boys, and I didn't know anything. I'm the baby.
Human interaction. Like that to me was just so startling.
When did she realize
that
her mum had been treating her like this?
I think that they were close, they were best friends for the majority of their time together. And then, right along when Gypsy thought she was 15 years old, she was actually 4 years older than that. She said, I want to find a boyfriend, I want to find love. And she started to try to gain autonomy from her mother, just these little bits of independence. Can I have a friend? Can I go visit a friend? Her mom said absolutely not. So the awakening, I think, happened when she tried to exert her independence as a teenager in a very healthy.
Again, we don't know what the truth is to all of that. We know that Gypsy was choosing inappropriate people to be with, right? There is that, and maybe some of that is true. I don't know. Possibly we'll find out with the people that we're talking to. I can tell you that. But was it because of this disruptive behavior? This like I was bringing up? I don't know. I don't want to say that for sure. Obviously, I don't know. I don't know if she was diagnosed with that. It's only one small note and one medical record, one little tiny note, and the nurse writes good control. Now, I don't know where that came from, right? And it's not mentioned anywhere else, but I have to wonder, maybe it was true that Dee Dee didn't want Gypsy to have other friends. Maybe there was something going on with Dee Dee at that time, right? Like I said, she wasn't a saint, okay? Or was there something else behind it? And that's stuff that we can possibly piece together by talking to the right people. We have to talk to people who knew them, that were around them, that witnessed things, right?
Way. And her mom was so sick, and so I would say pretty demented, to not let her child grow up ever, because it was part of the scam. Like, she had to be a little girl forever.
Now, the daughter does murder the mother, right?
He's coming to it. He's like, so wait a minute, but the daughter does kill her mom, right? Like he's like kind of like scratching his head, like, I'm not sure what we're talking about here.
Yes, the mother is dead. That's how the film opens. She got an online
brutally
boyfriend
murdered
to come stab her mother to death in the dark of night, and she is serving time for that murder.
And this is screening the day after Mother's Day.
Yes.
Did you pick the day?
That's the other sick thing. That's the end of that one. They picked the day after Mother's Day to bring it out. Yeah, nice timing there for Dee Dee, right? Nice timing. All right, guys, I think that is going to do it for me, but I want to get to some more of your, do I have anything else? I don't think so. Yeah, I think let's get to some more of your, oops, what's going on here? Comments. All right. So how are you guys doing? We're going to be like bringing it to a close right now. I thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I hope you guys enjoyed most of the live. I want to get to some more of your comments though before we go. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a good Monday. Where did I leave off at? I don't think, did I show this one? Oh yeah, I did. Thank you, Jill, for saying that. And Anonis, and I got that one. And Crystal. I think I ended with Crystal. Okay. Wendy Dotson, 9603, all aboard the truth train. Thank you, Wendy. Case studies. Ryan Anderson's comb over is basically saying I'm not bold. I'm creative. Thank you, Case. That's hysterical. Thanks for the $4.99, buddy. Thank you, my friend. All right. Next one up. Sandy Dorsey, 2695, member for 3 months. Thank you, Sandy. Choo choo. Let's go the truth train. Absolutely, Sandy. And Crystal again. Love you, Becca. Thank you, Mitch, for all your hard work. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. And thank you for the $9.99. Thank you. I really like you a lot. You know that, Crystal. All right. Dark Angel, 1336-1, 10 pounds. You've got it. It's got to be late over there in overseas or maybe the UK. I'm not sure exactly where you're at, Dark Angel, but thank you so much. You say, we all appreciate you and the truth you bring. Thank you. That's very nice of you. It's actually a shame that she can't be tried. Again, Gypsy has manipulated the system and everybody around her. Hashtag truth team. Love you. Oh, from the UK. Thank you. Thought you're from the UK. Thank you. Yes, it is a shame, but I think the Karma Police is going to come around for Gypsy. You know that song, Karma Police? I love that song, Karma Police. And I think the Karma Police will be coming for Gypsy, and she may end up with the real police at some point in her life. You never know. Yeah. You never know. All right, Maggie, I hear you're going to have a live featuring Triple R. I love watching his. Yes. Okay. So thank you for reminding me. Coming this Saturday, I will be going live again with Triple R. I guess that's Ryan Reacts something. He has been, his name's Ryan. I think his channel is Ryan Reacts something. You guys tell me his real name of it. I can't remember. He has been playing our videos. He reacts to videos like he doesn't know anything and he plays the video, right? And so I was watching him. I enjoyed watching him, and I'm like, dude, you want to come on? Because he's on the truth train now. He's like, I got to know everything about this case now. And so I said, yeah, come on. When can you come on a live? He can only do it on the weekends. So this Saturday, the 13th, we'll be doing a big live. He'll be joining me. All right. Thank you for reminding me. P. Mabel, $9.99. I want to thank you and all other creators helping the truth train. Absolutely. Yes. All the creators. I'm just a humble servant. There's so many great creators out there. I watch them all. The time and passion you put in, all you do is greatly appreciated. I wish you all the best. Happy holidays. Thank you, P. Mabel. Appreciate you too. Okay. Next we have Marianne Powell, Klein, 1840. Thanks, Becca. $9.99. Thank you for that. Thanks, Becca, for everything you are doing to get the truth out on this possum. I appreciate all that is being done behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you for the $9.99. That helps going towards what we're doing behind the scenes. And so I appreciate that so much. Thank you for your gift. TA Swifty fan 13. She got the VHS tapes that are in the crime scene. Oh, wait, I have to tell you guys one thing. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Just hold on there. I'm so glad you reminded me of something. You reminded me of something. Hold on, guys. Don't leave. Okay, where is it? Oh, no. Is that it? No, this is it. Okay. You guys know Carolina Girl, right? Look. She is getting all the videos from the Greene County Sheriffs. Here's proof it's happening. She thinks after the first of the year. So she sent me this stuff, these proof. I didn't need for her to send me proof because I trust her, but I wanted to show you guys the proof that she sent me. And so, hello, all those videos between Gypsy and whoever else, everyone thank Carolina Girl. It's coming from her. I want to get with her because maybe we want to set up something. I don't know. That's got to cost a lot of money. So I want to find out from her. Maybe we can do a little fundraiser or something. I don't know, whatever you guys think. I'm open. Again, I'm your humble servant. But yeah, it's happening and she's doing that. And I think I heard that possibly Into the Weeds are getting some other FOIAs too. So I just wanted to let you guys know about, especially Carolina girl, because she updated me specifically, and I wanted to let you guys know. Okay, back to our comments before we go. Okay, 1 ounce of Jameson, girlfriend. Where you been, girl? $4.99. Aaron Carr and Christy was in the Facebook group that falsely diagnosed Dee Dee with MPP. Thank you. She promoted a HBO show there. Thank you, 1 ounce of Jameson. Christy's story post changed with MPP. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That is some great information. Yep. It was all a thing. It went onto social media. It was smartly done. It was brilliantly done. That whole thing of selling the whole country, the whole world on the Munchausen by proxy. BM McKenna, 2024, $5. Becca, let's be real. You already do a better job than Aaron Lee Carr. That's very kind of you. She had no business making this documentary. I never knew this. Thank you. Thank you so much, B. McKenna. Thank you for the donation. All right. Next, 1 ounce of Jameson. Tate Peterson posted Emma died of a heart. Oh, you know what? Thank you. But you know what they're going to say. And thank you for telling us exactly what she died of. But Dee Dee was still starving her, and then she had a heart attack. That's how they play those things. You know how they go. But thank you for the truth. 1 ounce of Jameson. Pam Cake 609. What does Aaron? She makes documentaries. I mean, I think she's made some good ones too. Can you possibly interview her? Possibly. I guess I will reach out to her. I hope she doesn't watch this live stream. I kind of scorched her, but yeah, I mean, I was just being honest. Jill B 3072, member for 3 months. It's called fact checking. Thank you. Thank you, Jill. Popcorn and Smut, where you been, girl? Member for 4 months. Hey, all my loves. Hey, Becca, love you. Love you, Popcorn and Smut. Hello, Starlight. Becca, I sent you something regarding the head shaving that is super important. Check it out when you have some time later. Okay. Thank you, Starlight. And thank you, Starlight. You don't have to give me $9.99. Thank you, Starlight, for that. I will definitely check that out, and I will be covering that for sure. Beautiful Disasters gifted 5 Becca Scoops memberships. Thank you, Beautiful Disasters. And everyone who gets the memberships, let Beautiful Disasters know. Thank you. Wildfire Archer 1, $10. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on the truth train. Wildfire Archer 1. Thank you. Tori 4040, $9.99 donation. Thank you. Just pulled into my driveway. Was able to listen to the whole live on my way home from work. Oh, I love that. I do that too. I listen to live streams when I'm driving around. Awesome timing. I can't wait for this documentary. Look at us doing big things. Look at us. Look at all of us. Look at us doing this, you guys. I mean, it's wild, right? It's crazy. Yeah. And I'm a realist, so I don't get super positive or super negative. I just kind of do just every day. Okay, what do I got to do today? What do I got to do today? What do I got to do today? And you know what? You guys actually made it happen. All the comments everywhere. You guys are the movement. I'm nothing. I'm just one person. All right, guys. That is going to wrap up all of our comments for this live stream. I want to thank all of you for hanging in there with me for over 2 hours. It was a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, I will be going live on Saturday. I don't know if I'll either be going live in between there. That's a long time, Monday to Saturday. I'm going to have to come out at least with a video or another live before then. But make sure that your notifications on. And if you're not subbed to my channel, please consider it. If you like what we're doing with the Truth Train and you want to support the cause, you can become a member to my channel. But during the holiday season, only if you can afford it, okay? Because the other way, if you can't afford it, is to share, hype all of my videos and other content creators who are also on the Truth Train. That helps. But if you want to specifically help me, yes, becoming a member does specifically help me at this time for what I'm doing behind the scenes. But only if you can afford it, okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of my great moderators, Mersey Me, Messy Sweet, Susan Ryan,
And everyone that is, look at all the members, look at all the Maisie faces, look at all the little Maisie dogs. Those are all the members to my channel. I love you guys especially. I love you guys especially, the members. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. You can email me if you need to get a hold of me at beccascoops.com. beccascoops@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me, please feel free to do so. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Becca Scoops out. Have a great evening. Good night, guys.